বিক্ষুব্ধ, আপনারা সবাই কথা বলতে চান, আপনারা সবাই আজকের প্রতিবাদে অংশগ্রহণ করতে চান, কিন্তু আমাদের সময় সংক্ষিপ্ত, নির্দিষ্ট সময়ের মধ্যে আমাদেরকে এখান থেকে চলে যেতে হবে। এই জন্য সবাইকে সংক্ষিপ্ত বক্তব্য দেওয়ার জন্য আহ্বান জানাচ্ছি। এই মুহূর্তে বক্তব্য রাখবেন ব্রাদার মালিক জাকির। আমি ব্রাদার মালিক জাকিরকে বক্তব্য রাখার জন্য অনুরোধ জানাচ্ছি।
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is a protest briefing from Human Rights of Bangladesh. Today's gathering to protest against present ruling government of Bangladesh and their lawful, unlawful and unjustifiable act over the major Islamic organizations and opposition parties. It is also our fundamental right and demand to know the fact as well as the awareness of the current political and overall critical situation of the Islamic movement of Bangladesh, particularly the current ultra-secular government onslaughting of systematic, brutal, fascist actions against the largest organization of our opposition party and Islamic leaders, attempt to crush and execute all of the leaders in order to remove all political obstacles in the way of the government of Bangladesh, Awami League, to de-Islamize and secularize the country under the framework of 1972 secularized constitution that it is committed to restore since the same was subsequent amended in favor of constitutional principles that are suitable to the Muslim nation. On behalf of Human Rights of Bangladesh, a non-profit religion organization, we the respectable delegates, members, organizers, well-wishers and supporters are gathered here to show our unity and support, abundance of true religion practices, sympathy, and the request. Islamic scholars of our community unlawfully captured, brutally tortured, and detained by the present government of Bangladesh.
Shame!
We also here to strong protest against current Bangladeshi ruling party and their government for their extremist and inhumanity act over those innocent leaders and scholars and opposition parties, Maulana Delwar Hossain Saidi, along with many other leaders of the parties. In this context, I would like to draw your kind attention with great concern that a part of this systemic facilist policy of extremists and exterminating the government unlawfully and unjustifiably arrested all those Muslim leaders and opposition leaders, including Maulana Delwar Hossain Saidi, Mr. Maulana Motiur Rahman Nizami, Mr. Ali Hassan Mujahid, and including all those opposition leaders. All these activities throughout the country by violating all norms of justice, human rights, and democracy. We are deeply concerned that unless the government's brutal fascist actions are immediately intervened and abated in consent to leaders of workers, all these leaders may be subjected to the inhuman prestigious Islamic identity, and nations may participate in designating a political unrest leading of civil war. It is patent to note how politically motivated baseless of all these charges which is Islamic leaders who are highly respected Islamic scholars and personalities were arrested. Ultra-secularist regime. It sounds completely, all those regimes are there. They are arresting all the Islamic leaders, scholars, frivolous and fabricated allegations against all those leaders and suggesting their immediate unconditional release. In further alarming, however, all those leaders are arrested. All forces of the ultra-secularist fascist government, including the police and the country's special trained force, RAB, which is Rapid Action Battalion, and a massive arrest. They crack down all the corner of country at the clear instructions of Home Minister said, for the example of Independence July 1st, 2010. We know all those in the news medias. However, you will be thundered to know that since the government apprehended that the court might grant bail to the leaders in such a frivolous case, they immediately declared the leaders under custody as shown arrested under their serious unfounded false cases such as murder of a Russian university student. The fact is that student was killed in the riots of those Bangladesh Chhatra League. There is a selection of war crimes committed during 1971 so that they could not escape remand and physically tortured, for which his regime is notoriously known. As you know, Bangladesh Awami League, the present ruling party of Bangladesh, embraced secularism as its ideology from the beginning of its formation. The development of secularism in Bangladesh, however, started through an abnormal psyche, which is an extreme opposition to and deep-rooted desire to inherit Islam and its symbols. After taking absolute control of all the countries in 1971, Awami League banned all Islamic parties and institutions and de-Islamized the educational system. Thousands of Islamic scholars and Islam-involved people were brutally killed only because of they supported the unity of two parts of Pakistan that was created in the name of Islam out of the Hinduism-dominated Indian subcontinent. However, it is now so far long history. In 2007, democratic process in Bangladesh was halted for 2 years. During that time, Islamic movement became the prime target of anti-Islamic media propaganda. The leaders of the Islamic movement were falsely portrayed as war criminals in national and international media. Subsequently, 2 years interim constitutional government before the current government, backed by military junta and anti-Islamic international community, handed over the power to the Bangladesh Awami League through a first election, employed the digital ringing, whereby the ultra-secularist party secured more than two-thirds seats of the parliaments under the engineered election. After getting all these powers again, Awami League publicly bowed the extremist the Islamic movement of Bangladesh. As a part of their agenda, they are trying to stage war crime, tribunal drama. It is obvious that they do not have any evidence to try any leader of Islamic movement or the opposition leaders. Therefore, they could not try them through ordinary judicial system. They have to revive an act, namely a Crimes Tribunal Act 1973. which denies basic human rights of the accused. Under this act, anyone can be prosecuted and convicted without proper evidence or on the basis of false and fabricated evidence. That is why the International Bar Association has already declared this act as outdated, fraught with injustice and against fundamental human rights. Nevertheless, the Bangladeshi government is adamant in prosecuting so that called war crimes through this act, and accordingly started a massive media campaign against the leaders and all those opposition leaders in Bangladesh. Before we even forming tribunal and appointing the investigators and prosecutors, the ultra-secularists, ruling party leaders and their loyal media already included all top leaders in the list of war criminals and started seriously defaming the defying new only all those the political leaders. However, I just like to share my voice and my speech on the behalf of human rights of Bangladesh and my respectable brothers and sisters here gathered. We all know why we are here gathering, and we want to immediate unconditional release all those leaders held by all those political leaders. They need to get set release immediate with unconditional questions.
Free,
Free, free, Saidi.
free, Saidi.
Free, free, Nizami.
Nizami.
Free, free, Mujahid.
Free, Mujahid.
Free, free, Saidi.